Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts. Holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a great person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. And today we're going to be diving into how hardships strip away your ego, how hardships they prepare you for greater responsibility, and how those same hardships they end up opening the doors that you never could have unlocked on your own, my friend. You see, the truth is that nobody likes suffering. Nobody prays for hardships. But what if I told you that the struggles that you go through, they aren't meant to break you. They're actually meant to humble you. They're meant to refine you, and they're meant to prepare you for something that's bigger, for something you can't even imagine right now, right? Just think about it like that. You see, God isn't punishing you when you hit rock bottom. God, He's literally chiseling away at your ego so that you can step into the man that you're meant to fucking become. See, the men who achieve greatness aren't the ones who had an easy ride, who had an easy life, who had it all given to them. It's quite actually the opposite. The ones who become the greatest, right? They're the ones who learn to embrace the fire. They're the ones who had the most struggle. They're the ones who had to learn to let go of their pride. They're the ones who had to learn to trust God that He has something better on the other side for them. So if you're in the trenches right now, my friend, this episode right here is for you, brother. So let's talk about why suffering might just be the best thing that has ever happened to you. Literally going to help you reframe that. Because so many times, and I've gone through this, when you're in the middle of it, you're like, wow, this is fucking nuts. This is crazy. And you're not looking at the scenario. You're all fucking caught up in your feelings and all that shit. And then, if you're able to step back, if you're able to take a breather, if you're able to look at it in a simple, different perspective, this is when working on yourself really helps you in these situations. You're able to see that there is a bigger picture to this. You're able to see that it's happening for a reason. You're able to see that it's happening to prepare you for what's coming. You see, suffering, it strips away your ego and it strips away your false confidence. Right? Pain forces you to face reality. When everything is going well, it's easy to think that you got it all figured out. Anybody could fucking say, oh, I got it all figured out when things are going good. But when you hit the adversity, when you're going through challenges, when you're going through some of the toughest moments in your life, your ego takes a fucking hit. It takes a little sucker punch to the face. And that's exactly where growth begins, my friend. Look at Job's story in the Old Testament, right? He literally lost everything. He lost his wealth, he lost his health, he lost his family, but through his suffering, he gained an unshakable faith and a really deeper understanding of God's plan. So think about the hardest season in your life, right? Did it humble you, right? Or did it make you rethink your priorities, right? Or did it fucking throw you to the ground? Instead of fighting against the suffering, ask, what is it trying to teach you, my friend? You see, the faster, and I've learned this, bro, learned this through literally going through it, the faster that you're willing to surrender your ego, right? The faster that you will grow, my friend. And it's all tied to our ego. It's all tied to, I don't want to ask for help. It's all tied to, this shit, it's all happening to me. It's not happening for me. Literally all tied to you. Look at it that way. If you are willing to overcome that self, if you're willing to look deep inside of yourself, and you're willing to look at why or how this is preparing you, you're able to grow past that shit, right? You see, hardships are God's way of preparing you for the greater responsibility that's coming in your life. Before God gives you more, He needs you to know that you can handle less. Fucking so truth right there, right? Before He gives you more, He needs to know that you can handle less, my brother. Every setback, every failure, every hardship is literally a test of character before your bigger blessings come. And they're like a test. He wants to make sure that you have what it takes to handle these bigger blessings, and more so that you actually earn it. That you're not just going to throw it away. Literally testing your character. See, great champions, both in the sports world and in real life, right? And I'm not saying that sports is not real life. I'm just saying in life in general, right? These fucking champions, they've endured massive failures before achieving the success. Think about like Michael Jordan. He was cut in his high school basketball team before he fucking became great. Or even Steve Jobs, he was fired from Apple. And then he came back and killed the game and it was rehired back into them. Right? They didn't just bounce back. They came back even stronger and more redefined, more focused, more like a fucking champion who doesn't quit. Right? You see, even in the Bible, it says that Joseph was betrayed by his own brothers. And then they sold him into slavery and threw him into prison. But all this shit, all of it was preparing him to lead a nation. Right? And so you see, his suffering made him ready for the responsibility that God was giving to him. Right? And so when you look at it at the beginning, you're like, oh, what the fuck? Man, like I got betrayed by my brothers. I got sold into slavery. Now I'm in prison, all this stuff. And you could be like, yeah, it fucking sucks. But all that was preparing him to be able to lead an entire nation. Look how the perspective shift on that, right? God was literally preparing him for the amounts of responsibility that he was about to give him. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is this preparing for me? Right? How can I learn from this? How can I level up from this? How can I grow from this? Right? How is this preparing me? Have the mindset shift. It's the total game changer, right? Surrendering to God's plan opens doors that you couldn't open on your own. Fucking soul truth right there, right? When you're full of your ego, like you're just relying on yourself. But when you're humbled, right, you finally make room for God to move into your life. You finally make room for God to show you the path, to show you what's coming, to prepare you for all the greatness that's up ahead. See, so many men, they struggle because they're still trying to control everything, right? And they won't admit that they need help. They won't admit that they have to change. They won't admit that it's going to take a transformation. They won't admit that they ignore the lessons in their suffering, right? Their ego is so fucking large, they're so caught up that they're literally just taking L's after L after L after L. They're not learning anything from it, right? Turn that L, that loss, into a lesson and level up, right? And until you let go, until those men let go, until I had to learn to let go, they stuck me back. They held me back. They held me stagnant. Actually, worse than stagnant. They kept pushing me back. And I kept fucking not growing. And I kept thinking like, what the fuck? And it was because I didn't admit, I was like so reluctant to refuse the transformation that needed to happen. Right? I was so stuck in my old ways. But until I realized that I needed to transform into this new man, to this new person, to this new fucking human being that could handle so much greater problems, so much greater opportunities, so much greater blessings, that's when it all changed. Like, look, man, even Jesus, before going to the cross, he prayed, right? It says in the Bible, not my will, but yours be done, Father. Like, so he surrendered like he literally surrendered. And he was Jesus, right? So if the man could surrender, we definitely can surrender as men, right? Surrender isn't a weakness. It's trusting that God's plan is better than our own, my friends. So start your day by surrendering to plans. Start your day by surrendering your plans to God. Like, this is why praying and meditating and really having some time for yourself at the beginning of your day is so important. Like, pray for guidance instead of just pushing past your own agenda. Like, and when you wake up rushed, when you wake up late, when you wake up like, and you don't have time to really have this alone time for yourself, this is when things get all whack. This is when you don't see the bigger picture. This is when you're not laser focused. This is when you're not locked in. This is when shit comes and it's punching you in the face and you're like, oh, and you're just getting hammered left and right because you're not fucking getting into it with yourself, right? And so when you have time for yourself, when you have time to decompress, when you have time to expand your mental bandwidth and meditate and then can pray, right? And connect spiritually, you start listening to the messages that come. I know there's some fucking frequency, some woo-woo type of shit, but it's so fucking real. When you expand your mental bandwidth, when you're able to have clarity in your mind, you're able to listen to the messages and the things that God sends you and he puts in your mind. It's like that voice that we have inside. And you start really being able to see with clarity, with focus on what needs to happen next. So my question for you here today is, what if the thing that you're struggling with right now, my friend, is the very thing that God is using to shape you into the man that you were meant to be, my friend? What if? What if? And so my challenge here with you is whenever you face a challenge up ahead, whenever you face some type of setback in the days ahead, whenever you face some type of like situation that is gonna fucking really test you, instead of complaining, thank God for it, right? And ask Him, what are you trying to teach me through this, Father? And then watch how your mindset shifts. Watch how you evolve. Watch how you level up. Watch how you're emotionally balanced. Watch how you grow as the motherfucking man. And then my final thought here for you with this episode is to really know that suffering isn't punishment. It's motherfucking preparation. It's God's way of breaking down your ego so that you can finally step into the strength, so you can finally step into the wisdom, so you can finally step into the purpose that He has for you, my brother. You see, the men who win in life aren't the ones who avoid the pain. The men who win in life, they're the ones who learn from the pain. They're the ones who grow from the pain. They're the ones who trust God that He never wastes a struggle. So the next time that you're in the fire, the next time that you're in the pit, the next time that you feel like everything is crumbling down in front of you, remember, He's not burning you down. He's refining you into fucking gold. You are driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who's willing to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the crap that's holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is exactly what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. If by any chance you still haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. If you connected with today's message, if it resonated with you, man, do me a favor. Please share this on your story and make sure that you tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that help more motorheads, more gearheads, more people like you and me to really see and hear about this podcast. And ultimately, that's how our community grows. Catch up with you on the next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.